my scrappy friends, welcome to the SpiegelMom Scraps YouTube channel. This is Hannah with you today. I am going to be making a shake it anytime shaker spread for you today. And right now you are seeing me get ready to take that vellum to my sewing machine. I just used a little bit of ATG to keep it down in 1 or 2 spots. And I had previously used acrylic paint on this mixed media traveler's notebook insert. I'll make sure I have the insert linked below. It's actually from ScrappingWonders. So Beth, she used to be a member of SpiegelMom Scraps last year. And she has some really cool inserts for mixed media and stuff, and it's perfect for using like the Shimmerz products and stuff on. So I used, like I said, I took that to my sewing machine and just ran it through on 3 sides, and now I'm going to take some Cork and I'm going to be using Free Spirit and Hey Kiddo, and those are the sequins that I'm going to be filling it in. So if you don't know already, this month is June. Yay! Welcome June. And all month we're going to be celebrating the 80s and 90s and be inspired by that. So this is a very loose translation to that. I'm going to be using a lot of bold pattern papers, and the picture that I'm using is a picture that is a really bold icon picture, and it just reminds me of the 90s. So even though it's not from the 90s. So that's how I'm taking this spread here with the theme of the month. I will be doing a lot of other layouts that are more theme oriented, but I wanted to do something really simple to show you that is really easy to incorporate just a little piece of inspiration into your whatever you're doing that is current. I think that's the hardest part about doing challenges like this. This is the concept of taking something that is not what we're used to now, because we're not in the 80s or 90s, even though you're seeing a lot of stuff from the 90s come back, a lot of the clothing styles. Oh my gosh, my kids have some clothes that remind me of stuff that I had when I was a kid. Yeah, so right now I've just finished up that pocket. I sewed it up at the top too, and one of the things that I did with that, I don't know if you can see it, but the top butterfly up in that shaker pocket, I actually glued down, and I wish I had thought about this beforehand, because I would have glued down all of the cork pieces before I even sewed around the vellum. But I really like how the paint and the sequins and those butterflies just barely peek through the vellum. It looks really, really pretty, and it's going to help mesh with the rest of my layout. Or spread, I should say. So I decided to do something really crazy and stick my photo on both sides. This is very tricky, and it could have went badly if I had added maybe even one more layer of stuff. I'm using a doily to start off, and then I'm gonna put on the one side. Now I'm using some ATG to hold my photo down, but you will see I'm gonna add layers to my photo because I really want it to stand out. But I did want to add this tag, so I'm just working on this part because I want to get my tag down first. And then I'm gonna use some twine from the store. And she has a few different color twines, and they're really pretty. I really don't have that many twine, but I use it quite a bit for tags and stuff. So it's just nice to have some different colors to match. And I just used the pink, and it's going to match with that cover of the Traveler's Notebook cover that I have. So, and it's just a really gorgeous Traveler's Notebook, and I had to document it in my Traveler's Notebook. So so this is some brush script that I did a while ago. I say a while ago, a few weeks ago. I did a whole bunch of watercolor script font, and I was just playing around like pretty much all weekend, one weekend. And this is a fun thing to do, like if you're really busy but you want to be creative, is just kind of work on little skills like brush script or doodling or little things like that that you can end up using in your own work. So I'm trying to pick out patterns. I really want to use some bold ones, and this is some of the new Amy Tan line. I didn't get much of it, but it just so screams to me 90s. I mean, like, it reminds me of Rainbow Bright a lot, this paper, but it's gorgeous. I love it. It's like one of my new favorite papers. And so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to layer this, because I know that I have to cut it because I cut the photo. And I know it's going to be on 2 pages, but I want it to look like it flows, you know? So you have to put everything back under, and I just cut each layer, each step as I went, and that's how I got the look that I wanted. I could have built it all together and then cut it, but I was afraid that if I did that, it would be too thick for me to cut all in one strip. So yeah. So now I'm looking through and seeing what other bold patterns and what other stuff I could end up using on this spread. And I'm trying to find colors that are going to go well with my background, are going to go with that bold striped paper that I have. And I really am liking these purples. And they match with the purple on the background too. So, and I really like this triangle, and it also mimics the triangle stencil that I put on the background. And that I just used some of the Shimmerz Pasteez, and I think it was Salt to the Earth, and then I added some of the Coloringz right to it, so one of the green ones. And that Shimmerz is definitely opaque, so it picks up the color of the paint underneath too. So it kind of turned a funky color, and I wish I wouldn't have used the green, but I thought it was going to look really cool. It didn't end up looking as good, but that's okay because it is what it is. And in the end, it kind of looks like the tops of pineapples, I guess, maybe, sort of. And this is what I love about being inspired by something. And those big, bold, graphic patterns were so popular in the 90s, right? I'm glad they're kind of coming back because I love it. I love that the cheerfulness that it gives. It's just as me. I am now cutting these pineapple out. They're the perfect size, and it's from the 6x6 pad. So they're the perfect size to use as little embellishments around on here. And really, in these traveler's notebooks, I mean, I don't mind adding lots of layers and lots of stuff, but in the end, I do want it to also close up, and that was one thing I didn't think about too much. I had to let this sit for a while before I could actually close it up. Silly me. But in the end it worked out, and I really just like how it looks. And I like how the traveler's notebooks, they just look so fun when they're all bulked up, if you ask me. But that's just me. I mean, if you like it not bulked up, then you can do it that way too. And I'm getting closer to being done. I'm just doing the last bit of embellishing, and I'm going to put that little tag that says loving it on there. It's perfect. This is such a fun and it's just a fun spread. It's one of my favorites. So I'm finding some tags because I want to be able to just add a little bit more of something on this other side with the vellum. So I found some old click kits, banners, and then these are printable tags by Caitlin Schaefer. So you can get them on her blog. So I'll make sure I have a link to that below as well so that you can find those. I've used these a lot. You can put them in Adobe or I think you could put them in Adobe and do your journaling right on there too, if that's something that you would like. That actually would have looked really cool. If I had thought about it, I could have put like the date on there or something just in, I mean, or you could print them out and then go and use your like a typewriter or something too. You could do that. I don't have a typewriter. I probably won't get a typewriter unless I can find one really, really cheap. Because I don't really need a typewriter because I have a computer. My husband would probably think I was crazy. I'm sorry that you can't see what I'm doing. I'm just working on, I'm going to build up a little cluster down where those tags are, and or the banner and the flag tag. And I'm going to use some of the felt hearts. I love these felt hearts. They're like I love all the stuff in the store. I shouldn't say that. But these are one of my favorite little things to add because they add such fun texture. But they're just like really just fun. I mean, who doesn't like a heart anyway? And they're all in these different sizes. So you can use a really big one or you can use these small ones. I really like the small ones. So I'm using my stapler to staple them in. And yes, it does go through to the other side. I didn't have anything on the other side. So that's one thing to think about when you're using traveler's notebooks real quick, is that whatever you use to attach stuff, you will see it on the other side if it's like staples or sewing. So what I like to do is leave a space in between them until I figure out what I'm going to do on the other side. So, or just make sure that I have paper, pattern paper, or even just a plain piece of cardstock you could do, or even just a plain piece of printer paper and just put that in on the over top of whatever it is that you have, like the stapler or whatever. So I'm also going to be filling or lining the whole both sides with these sequins that I used on the inside, just because it's really hard to see them as far as like you don't know all the colors. I mean, you can see them when you look at it, but they're not, because it's vellum, you only see hints of it. So it's nice to know what they actually look like outside. And I just really like these colors. They're nice and fun. They go with the papers and everything. And so I'm almost done. I'm just building that, just filling up where I think the sequins will go well. And then I'm going to add a chipboard pineapple, because I thought that needed to happen. I thought I needed to add just a little bit more pineapples. And I love this glitter one. It's my favorite. Now, if the chipboard is too thick for you, you can always take some of the layers of chipboard down. I don't mind that it's big and bulky, but if you don't like that, you can always take it down. And then I use that other sticker, which I think I added glue behind it so that it will stick a little bit better to the mixed media. I mean, I didn't use gesso on this, so there's not that hindrance. And then I'm going to pull out my stamp and I'm going to spell cute, and I'm going to put cute in a couple of places just to add a little bit of ink to this. I don't mind that it's just kind of messy. So, but if you don't like it messy, then this might be something that you want to either just do in one spot. I do it in a couple of spots, so you'll see. But don't forget to check out the blog, because the blog squad is going to also be doing tons of layouts and inspired projects that are inspired by the 80s and 90s. And don't forget to check out the Instagram group too. They'll just be posting on Instagram. And I hope you guys have a great week, and I hope that you guys play along with us this month and share with us your spreads that are inspired by the 80s and the 90s. Have a great week.